I have the weirdest life, I really do. Once again, I find myself in the middle of a brouhaha as I appear to have run afoul of probably the worst woman in American politics, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court, which is lovely, a lovely thing to say. So I made a joke. I said, where is Will Smith when you need him? What she does instead of working, she tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police.
Did you know that Jimmy Kimmel's ratings jumped by 75% after MTG reported him to the police? That's right, folks. Turns out nothing boosts viewership quite like a congresswoman throwing a hissy fit over a joke.
Bring me my writing desk, will you? Thank you. And Guillermo, thank you. Bring me my writing chair. And Jeff, if you would, I'd love to have some writing music while I do this, because I'm writing a letter. I'm going right to the top. Nobody does anything. I feel like maybe other Republicans like having her around to make the rest of them seem normal. And by the way, if she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League, okay? I'll keep my Jewish space laser set to gazpacho in case. And by the way, it wasn't just Marjorie who's all fired up. I got mean tweets from Diamond and Silk, which hurts because, you know, I'm a big fan.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But here's the real kicker. This isn't the first time Kimmel's political jabs have caused a stir. In fact, his Trump jokes have been known to trend on Twitter faster than you can say "Kofefe." Want to see how Kimmel keeps turning political outrage into comedy gold? Stay tuned. Remember when MTG thought she could take down a comedian with a phone call? Well, buckle up, folks, because this story's about to get wilder than Trump's hair in a hurricane.
This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police. By the way, if she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League, okay? Dear, I'm writing about a woman who might be a supervillain. Like the Joker, she thinks she is funny. And like the Penguin, she is 5 foot. Do you know what a vomit you have to be to get called out by Marjorie Taylor Greene?
So here's the deal. Jimmy Kimmel, late night funny man extraordinaire, made a little joke about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Nothing too spicy, just a harmless Will Smith slap reference. But apparently MTG's sense of humor is about as developed as a potato's, because she went full Karen and called the cops. Yes, you heard that right, the actual police, for a joke. Picture this, MTG, probably wearing her favorite tinfoil hat, frantically dialing 911. Hello, officer? I'd like to report a severe case of hurt feelings. Meanwhile, the cops are probably rolling their eyes so hard they can see their own brains. But here's the kicker. This is the same MTG who's called for violence against her political opponents more times than Trump's had Big Macs. Irony, thy name is Green. Now you'd think Kimmel would be shaking in his boots, right?
How does this even compute? This woman, you may remember, she's the one who endorsed fringe conspiracy theories and repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians. Any kind of threats against anyone, especially as I get dozens of them a week myself from the sickos who align with you. I also find it very rich that a person who did this in her campaign ad is suddenly whining about fantasies of violence. Now she's dialing 911 because she got made fun of. She's a snowflake and a sociopath at the same time. A snowciopath, as we call it from now on.
Wrong-o. Our boy Jimmy took this opportunity and ran with it faster than Trump running from a vegetable platter. He turned MTG's tantrum into comedy gold on his show. Thank you for keeping me safe, Marjorie, Kimmel quipped. I hope the Southern California police force can catch the son of a bitch who made that joke and bring him to justice.
Kimmel would not last too long if he were interested in engaging in unprovoked, terrible violence against this congresswoman. Okay, what are you suggesting, another threesome? I don't know. But and even the Venn molester Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz weighed in on this. He wrote, note to Jimmy Kimmel, not only would Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband make quick work of you, but Rep. MTG herself would make quick work of you. I wrote back, note to Rep. Matt Gaetz, stay indoors, it's Girl Scout cookie season.
But wait, there's more. Just when you thought this circus couldn't get any crazier, in lumbers Grumpy Trumpy himself. Yep, the orange turd decided to defend MTG, probably because he was feeling left out of the spotlight. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, took to Truth Social, because Twitter is so 2021, to declare that Kimmel should be fired, because nothing says I respect the First Amendment like trying to get someone canned for making a joke. You know what's really funny though? While MTG and Trump were throwing their little hissy fits, Kimmel's ratings went through the roof. Turns out nothing boosts viewership quite like a congresswoman and an ex-president losing their marbles over a joke. It's like they're Kimmel's unpaid PR team or something. Just when you thought the comedy circus couldn't get any crazier, in lumbers Grumpy Trumpy himself. Yep, the orange turd decided to defend MTG, probably because he was feeling left out of the spotlight. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, took to Truth Social, because Twitter is so 2021, to declare that Kimmel should be fired, because nothing says I respect the First Amendment like trying to get someone canned for making a joke. But here's the real kicker. Trump called Kimmel a failed comedian. Talk about the pot calling the kettle orange. This is coming from a guy whose idea of humor is about as sophisticated as a whoopee cushion. Remember when he tried to crack jokes at the UN General Assembly? The only thing that got more crickets was his hairspray. Trump's got a history of throwing tantrums over comedians. He once tried to sick the FCC on SNL because they hurt his feelings. Poor Donnie Diapers can't take a joke, but he sure can dish out the insults. It's like he's allergic to laughter unless it's at someone else's expense. But let's talk about Trump's own attempts at comedy. They're about as funny as a root canal performed by a clown. Remember when he congratulated himself for the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl win? Kimmel roasted him harder than Trump's well-done steak, calling him the real AFC champion. Ouch. So how did Kimmel respond to the former tweeter-in-chief's latest outburst? With more burns than Trump's spray tan, of course. "I'm just glad to know that I'm living rent-free in your head, Donald," Kimmel quipped. Keep watching. Looks like there's a new tenant in Trump Tower, and he's not paying a dime. Boom! That's how you do comedy, Donnie. But the comedy world wasn't about to let Kimmel fight alone. Other late-night hosts jumped in faster than Trump jumps on a bucket of KFC. Stephen Colbert, never one to miss a chance to roast Trump, joked that Green's call to the police over a joke was like a pro-life stance on humor. It's like the comedians formed their own Avengers team, but instead of fighting Thanos, they're battling bad hair and worse ideas. You know what's really funny though? While Trump and MTG were throwing their little hissy fits, Kimmel's ratings went through the roof. Turns out nothing boosts viewership quite like a congresswoman and an ex-president losing their marbles over a joke. It's like they're Kimmel's unpaid PR team or something. Well folks, it looks like Kimmel's got the last laugh after all. While MTG and Trump were busy throwing their little tantrum, Jimmy's ratings went through the roof. Turns out nothing gets people tuning in like a good old-fashioned political roast. Who knew? So what's the moral of this story? Keep laughing, folks. In a world where politicians seem to have thinner skin than Trump's hairline, humor is our secret weapon. And hey, maybe MTG and Trump should consider a career change. They'd make a great comedy duo. The Thin-Skinned Twins. Coming soon to a late-night show near you. Speaking of late-night shows, don't forget to tune in next time when we dive into Trump Goes Mad after Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert exposed Melania with one word. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.